Hello and welcome back to Shelf Centered. This is Bryce. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for liking and subscribing. You know, if this is something you end up enjoying, who knows? It could happen. Anyway, I've got a little bit of a new setup here. I see that. This is really comes about because I had a little bit of a change in schedule. I'm watching the kids the last couple days, and I really just have found that I need to shoot videos whenever I have a spare moment. That's the only time they get shot, or else they do not happen. We're at back at the white bookshelves, really where I started out with the channel. We did move and everything, and so they were in a little disarray for a while. I can't promise that this will last too long, but it'll at least have a couple videos here, probably interspersed. So anyway, hence the new little bit of a setup here. Anyway, what I wanted to do was get into talking about one of my favorite independently published books of the year. That is going to be The Bloody Chorus by John Marco. Now, John Marco, one of my favorite ever authors. I can literally show you right up there. I have got a whole set of John Marco books, if you could see that. Just realized I could do that. So I am a huge fan, so it's a little bit of a biased opinion, I can fully admit that. But anyway, I have a bit of a new review structure I wanted to kind of follow, so let's see how this goes. But I want to start out with a quick summary. I found that I don't love myself just reading the back of the book or the blurb on Goodreads, but if I just wing it, then suddenly this quick summary becomes a 10-minute description of the plot. And I don't want that either. So I've kind of said, look, I need to cut it down to about 2 to 3 sentences and then move on. So that's my goal here. And then I'm going to talk about the cover. And then I'm going to give some thoughts, some impressions, and then give you a rating. Every time, I love ratings. I like hearing a rating, and they're a little subjective, obviously. There's, you know, and they're going to conflict with other things, but I think overall, a rating I just have always liked, so I appreciate a good rating, and I'm going to give a rating. All right, so for the quick summary, The Bloody Chorus. A nation is sweeping the land. They've essentially taken over the world, and there's one more place left, and this is the blue-skinned Creori. And this nation is led by Reyes. He's dedicated to one god, and the Creori have kind of a pantheon of gods that actually show and demonstrate in real life their powers. And so they're the evidence is right there in front of everyone's faces, as opposed to this one god that Reyes claims to be the prophet of. And so he's come and he's taken over again, essentially the whole world except for this one place. And again, with actual gods that are pretty scary because they can control a lot of things. Now, just so happens that the new leader of the Creori, his name's Haru, his father was just murdered. He believes it's Reyes, or at least under Reyes' direction, and he wants to do everything he can to take him out, to take him down. Well, happens to be that he's invited, because Reyes would like to peacefully take over, he's invited to meet with Reyes and to talk with him and to hopefully find common ground, at least in Reyes' opinion. But for Haru, all he wants to do is have the opportunity to assassinate him back, essentially. So now Haru he's surrounded by his chorus, which it's considered as chorus, the Bloody Chorus. I just love this name so much. But he's surrounded by his chorus, and that's essentially his protectors. And they each have, again, actual very much definable magic, and each one is a different one. One's a warrior. One has the ability to get into people's minds. One can kind of see the future. Anyway, so there's lots of different, just cool different magics. It was a good use of being able to really distill multiple different magic systems into one book and one thing that worked. And again, this is a standalone book. It's not chunky, but it's at the same time it's a standalone, and it works. There might be more I hear. I would love to have more. And so that's going down to my thoughts. My thoughts are, Marco's writing is it's like coming home for me. So I've been reading Marco for some time. He just has a way of evoking an atmosphere, to making you just really feel part of it. He has this way of creating this kind of foreignness in an area, and you kind of like, you enter it and you just feel it, and you feel the palpableness almost of being somewhere where you're not used to, and you don't feel comfortable in. And he's done that just, again, so well. He's such a good author that it's so nice, and just the pages just breeze by because you just don't even know that you're even reading here. Because you're so into the story. Impressions. I liked this whole idea of putting these kind of two different people together. And then, I mean, I didn't talk about the cover, but the cover, I just love this cover. It's a Felix Ortiz cover. It's so wonderful. It's so awesome. And then Sean King is the designer of this book. I think it's just so well done. But I just love, this is a dragon whale, and they definitely play a part. And that's again why I want more to be written, because I want more dragon whales. It's so cool. But these gods are really cool, and they really just made it so interesting. But at the same time, like, I don't want to get. This is a non-spoiler review, so I'm just trying to describe it without going into too much detail here. But I just like that juxtaposition between the like evidence of your eyes and you know, and these peoples that are dealing with this, and then there's like backstabbing and betrayals and all this stuff. Tons of stuff just going on, while you've got, you know, some good people here, but, you know, and then manipulation too on the other side. And so, but just kind of like mixing it together and then seeing what happens. And Marco just does such a good job of these characters. You get really, especially Haru. Haru's the main one that you're focused on, and just his trying to be the new Tain, as it's called, the head of the Creori, and not even knowing what he's doing, feeling completely just fish out of water. Too much of a nautical spin on this. And what's nice about this is, again, is that it looks like it's this big seafaring book. It is to some degree, for sure. Now, but there's a lot of just like a whole huge portion of this is more like political machinations and kind of scheming in these places. So there definitely is. There's like sea battles and stuff with crazy like kraken like things, and huge like lobster monster thing that's like impenetrable skin that's just fighting everybody. And anyway, it's so nuts. It's such a cool ending. I just loved it. So anyway, just love seeing John Marco back in action. It is such a joy to read this book, and I just can't wait for more on John Marco's time, you know, as he gets to it. But just love seeing it back in action. I'm gonna give this 9 out of 10 shelves. That's right. I'm going for a big one, because I absolutely just loved this book. I loved so much about it. Again, I can admit where I'm probably biased here. I can say if there's any fault, there's plenty of typos if you really want to like fault something in it. The thing is, it might be like a little more than a traditionally published book, but not much more, because I see typos in those all the time. So if I had to put like really a negative something on it, there's a couple typos. And then, you know, again, this is more of a, is it a bad thing? I just want more. I want more of this world. I wanted to explore everything, but I loved what we explored in the book. So if anything, I want more, and that's a good thing. And it left me wanting just so much more. So really not a bad thing, a good thing. If I'm being honest here. What's one of your weaknesses? I try too hard. Anyway, go check out The Bloody Chorus by John Marco. It's just got everything going for it. Let me know your thoughts, and when you and if you have read it, let me know. Anyway, hopefully you enjoy this kind of thing. This is going to be my new, hopefully, review kind of style here. Trying to get to make them make sense, make them doable in a kind of a quicker fashion, to actually get them filmed, and then just kind of have a little bit of rigidity here, I think was warranted. So anyway, please like, please subscribe, and we will catch you next time. Bye.